Hi, everybody. I'm Harry, and this is Music Matters. Today, we have with us the band Caladium. Hi, guys. Thanks for being with us today.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, introduce yourselves and what you play.
I'm Brandon. I play guitar.
Marshall, play drums.
Randall, I'm their bassist and vocalist.
Awesome. A name like Marshall, I was expecting guitar, honestly.
Sorry.
He does backup vocals too, very impressively.
So where does the name Caladium come from?
I was at work at the city of Garland, and I was looking for a water meter, and my note in my pad said near Caladium.
Mm-hmm.
And right away I said, "Wow, that's a cool name. What is Caladium?" I had no idea what it was. Didn't know it was a street. That's what it turned out to be, Caladium Street. But so there was like a jungle gym play thing in a park, and I thought maybe that was a Caladium. So I Googled it, and I found out that it was that colorful plant-like leaf, also known in some regions as the heart of Jesus, which I thought was really cool. It's kind of like a, subtext, So I pitched it to the band, and everybody liked it.
Yeah.
I had never heard that before about Caladium. I just knew it because we lived in a neighborhood that all the street names were flowers, and we had a lot of deep shade, and that's a plant that grows in deep shade, and I like that. That's all I knew about it.
Yeah.
So that's a cool little nugget to learn about it.
Yeah.
So, and when he brought that to you guys, what'd you think?
Yeah, I think we were like immediately like it. Right?
Almost immediately, because every other band name that we thought up was already taken and copyrighted. So
Literally, we went through like 50.
Okay.
And we were like,
Yeah.
okay, there's no way this one is.
So, like,
We would look it up and be like, oh no, there is a band called,
right.
what are some of the examples of?
Oh man, we had 50
Yeah, I can't
on a
remember
list,
them
but I
now.
don't remember any of them.
Yeah, I think Red Letter Project was
Oh yeah, Red Letter Project was one of
an
them.
idea. Somebody pitched Plan B early on, and then we found out there's like 2,000 bands called Plan B.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's hard to find unique names, and
Yeah.
I noticed and discovered a lot of times that bands will be official so and so or so and so underscore TX or something so they can differentiate themselves. But when you're looking up, like we do a lot of research on bands that we have heard about that are potentially going to come into the studio to play or play in a show or whatever it is. And we like to do some research. A lot of times we'll only get like one link and it's usually like a SoundCloud. Sometimes it's a YouTube, but not a Spotify or anything where you can like see a catalog and it's like, that's the only song that you have. Come on, there's got to be more of it somewhere. And then you start doing the search and you go down into the deep well of, is that the band or is it some other band?
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of a crazy thing.
Yeah.
So how did y'all get together?
Well, we met at, God, it was how many years ago now? 4?
3 years ago? 4 years ago?
Okay.
3 or 4. I and a good friend of mine were sitting at a bar at Applebee's off of Skillman and Northwest Highway in Dallas. And we were talking, we were having a political discussion and getting into some fringe parts of the political discussion. And all of a sudden we hear a guy chime in right behind us, and then it was Brandon over here. Seemed to be in our ilk of sorts of having, having the same information that we have, if not more. He had a lot more than we had. And then we started... Well, we introduced ourselves. We started talking about our what we do, who we are, all that. And when I brought up that I was in a band trying to find more band members, he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a guitarist. I'm like, I play guitar." I go, "Really? We're looking for another guitarist, And he's like, "Oh yeah, so what's going on?" And from there, it kind of well, he also said, I mean, my friend Marshall, he's a drummer. I'm a guitarist. I mean,
We were Marshall and I were in a band. That's actually how Caladium started.
yeah.
And our vocalist left because it was right as the pandemic was happening and everything was shut down. Our previous vocalist, Marshall's little brother, refused to wear a mask at work, and they let him go. And so he decided to move back to California at that time. So left Marshall and I kind of hanging. And
Dudes from California and refuse to wear a mask.
Here?
yeah,
So
NorCal. Actually, we're from NorCal, Northern California.
So he
Okay,
so he
that's
went
a little different.
Yeah, it's a different country.
still
Practically,
going from least restrictive to a lot more restrictive.
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
right,
the
yeah.
state is, but the culture in California is probably more regressive than it is here. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, NorCal is totally different. I think there's only like 2 representatives in the governing bodies there, and every
Yeah,
county.
it's a lot more loosely populated. Like the density
Yeah. Oh,
is a
yeah.
lot lower.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Saturated in the big cities down south.
Mhm.
So yeah. Anyway, the NorCal is misrepresented. It's pretty bad. But yeah, it's ironic though that he left here to go there.
yeah.
So it's like we
But yeah, you would think so. But then once you said North Cal, I was like, okay, that makes more sense.
yeah, a little different.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was we were kind of left in a funk, and I told Marshall, I said, man, unless the Lord drops something in our lap, I think I'm gonna go back to California too.
Right.
And lo and behold,
'Cause I asked him to move here.
yeah,
Yeah. I moved here initially because I was a full-time caretaker for my grandparents.
Okay.
So I was here for how many years? 3 years, I think.
for 2 straight years you were begging me to come out.
I
here
would
and
keep
make music.
I would keep bugging him and be like, dude, you got to come out here, and not that I was doing anything myself, but I wanted to make more music. So he can't. So I asked him to come out, and yes, it was totally just like we were like, okay, well, he's like, well, I guess I'll just move back, to what's this, the town of Williams that you lived in?
Yeah, Williams.
Small little farm town in California.
Yeah.
And then just randomly at Applebee's, where we've
The best things happen at the late night diners. I mean,
Right.
so many things have happened to that Applebee's.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
met way too many like people. Like it's serendipitous. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I did all of my homework in college at a Perkins. I don't know if you guys know what that is,
Yeah.
but it's like a Denny's with pies, right?
Okay.
So I mean, that was
Yeah.
their thing, is that they had like lots of pies. And me and another classmate, we would just sit there and sit at a table all night, drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, and eat pie, and do homework, and lots of interesting discussions that you can have in a late night diner.
Sure.
For
A
sure.
lot of friendships, I bet.
Yeah. That's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, and then Randall had mentioned that he was in the studio recording some songs, and it just felt like it was meant to be, because I literally told Marsh, I said, unless the Lord drops something in our lap, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then Randall, I think Randall was like, we need a drummer. You know a drummer? I was like, bro, our vocalist just left, so it just was perfect. We started talking about musical influences. We're born in the same year, have the same exact musical influences, grunge rock, Metallica, Chevelle, and it just felt like, dude, this is it. Randall, before he ever even heard our music, he was like, all right, you guys are in the band. And I was like,
Yeah.
hold on a sec, I don't know what we're getting, because
And-
you meet musicians sometimes. And
And the first time I met Randall was at his dad's show.
Yeah.
So your dad plays.
He's in the band Desperado. It's an Eagles tribute.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the guy with the long blonde hair. He plays God, I forgot that guy's name. I'm not a big Eagles guy, but
Glenn Fry.
No, not Glenn.
Well,
No,
anyways.
the guy that used the double neck, but I can't remember his
Oh,
name.
yeah.
But they sound like, I was blown away. Like these guys, I was like, oh, this is like it was phenomenal. Like they're such amazing musicians, and
yeah.
So that was the first time meeting him, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. That's real cool. It's cool when it's in the family too, like multi-generational, and you can kind of relate. So I used to play. Ryan and his brother Blake play. My sister's actually pretty well known jazz bassist. So we've had it in the family Christy's not so much the musical person as she is. She knows a lot about music, and she organizes us and keeps us in line and all that. So
That's good.
yeah, it's she loves music. I can say that. So yeah, that's great. That's a great origin story.
Well, actually, to add on to it, my previous producer, the one I was recording with, we went to his apartment and we were trying to wake him up. We were blasting real loud and we were about to record one of our songs. And come to find out, he was dead in his bed.
Oh, God.
We found him dead. We were the first people to find him dead. And, got the ambulance called out and everybody else, and they pronounced, we were the first person to hear to pronounce him dead.
And he worked at Applebee's too.
He was the bartender.
Oh, well, and that sounds like a song name. Found him dead in his bed.
Well, we made a song called Elysium for him.
That's cool.
And that's on this album.
It'll be
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a friend who was also a bartender, and he was found dead a couple of years ago.
What was it?
Sorry.
I know.
What was what?
How did he?
Oh, that is the mystery.
Kind of a mystery.
Really?
This friend's house that he was staying at, I don't want to give too many details. The AC was broken in the middle of July. So I'm sure being in that heat did not help. I also think there was a rumor that there was no drugs in the system. So I'm thinking it could be withdrawal related,
Oh.
if that makes sense.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
It was actually Ryan's best friend, and
Oh, sorry to hear that.
yeah,
Man.
it was very sad. We tried to find out from the parents what happened or where he's buried or like anything, and
Oh, so it really is Mr.
it is really a mystery. It's one of those that I don't know that we'll ever get answers to like what happened.
Yeah, right.
It's
His parents are whack, so
Sorry to hear
if
that.
they're watching this, you guys are fucking whack.
There you go.
I think to be a good band, sometimes you got to have a death, and it was our producer.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I like your story more about what's the name of that game?
Root Tapper.
Root Beer Tapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot more interesting.
Yeah, man. Best game ever.
Yeah.
I think it was Namco. Yeah, if you're watching, bring it back. Put it on the 50 games when you buy all of all
They
the old arcade games.
They make the. Do you guys remember the Atari 2600 console?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, my uncle had one when I was a kid.
That was the original one that was black with the faux wood around it. I guess everything in the late 70s and early 80s had to have faux wood on it, kind of like in the.
right.
It looked like furniture
Yeah.
that it would match with the furniture that you had.
Right.
Yeah.
I think-
wood grain.
Yeah.
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 Wood grain.
Yeah. Wood grain. It was it was like the like National Lampoon's Vacation. The Clarkmobile had the wood siding
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing on it, but
It's like a station wagon.
yeah. They came out with a few years ago. I don't know if they still sell it, but do you remember the little controllers with the little red button and all that stuff?
Oh yeah.
They made a controller that had the 50 games built into it.
Right.
And it had, I don't remember if it was HDMI or something.
Yeah, you just plug it
Plug
in
it
the back
right into the TV and you just
Oh
go.
yeah, I bought all those things.
They have those like emulators that are like in the spirit of, you
Right.
know, or maybe it's like a miniature, like kind of look like
Yeah,
more
yeah.
cheaply put together.
Right. And it's got like
but it's got like
200 games
HDMI
on
and
it.
stuff on,
Yep.
like all 200 games that were ever made, like
Right, right.
pre-installed on it.
Well, not every one of the games. They put the 200. They put the 200 games on there that were the least popular, plus 3 titles that were
Yes.
popular. So
Yeah, they do 3 good ones, and then everything else is just
Yes.
garbage.
yeah,
So you're not playing. You buy it for like the one game you want. Like I Miss Pac-Man was my game,
Right.
And so I'll get it for that, and all the other games are like, wow, this game is trash.
it's like I've never heard of this. Like,
Right, and there's
what's-
a reason because
Yeah.
There's a reason
it was a
you-
terrible game, but tons of games back then.
Yeah,
Well, depending on how some of those are, you might be able to just like pirate the other games, you know.
I don't know if you can because
You might not be able to. Yeah, it might require some modding. Like you'd have to format the SSD and then put it in the right format.
no, it's there's on those types of games. It's like an EEPROM. It's not a.
Yes, for maybe something where it's like built into the controller. There's some of those where they just like slap like a regular old SSD in there.
That's more of a console type of a real console
Yeah.
type
There's
of thing.
some that are like a mini console, like one that looks like an NES, but it's like instead of being like this big, it's like this big. But they still just like slap a regular SSD in there.
Yeah, they used to do this thing with, was it PlayStation? Where you couldn't just buy a regular controller or SSD, you had to buy theirs because it wouldn't work. They had some sort of
Proprietary thing.
That's the same thing with Xbox, sort of, because I've modded our hard drive for an Xbox. The only way you can do it is they used a very specific model of hard drive, and it just so happened that an old laptop I had from like 2009-ish used that exact same model of hard drive. So I was able to really easily basically just format it, put the Microsoft security sector on it, and then put it in there. But if you try doing that same process with, like, say, an SSD, because you want the faster performance, it does not work because it only works with that model of hard drive.
yeah, they lock you in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not much you can do about that.
Okay. Learn something new.
Yeah. So you guys brought a few toys out here. So what's your favorite toys?
You go first.
I love my Mesa Boogie Mark 25 amp there. It's a micro cab. It's really fascinating. I have a number of really nice 100-watt amps, and I've been really disappointed to, you go to these venues now, and all of the venues are set up for live sound. So the engineer's having you put your 100-watt amp at like a 20% volume. And so I'm playing live, and I'll turn my guitar, I'll put it right up to the speaker cone to try to get some feedback, and you get nothing out of it. So I was like, bro, something's got to give. And then somebody said, that's why they make these micro cabs now. And I said, no way. So I got this 25 water, and it'll scream at you and not even be that loud with feedback.
That's
So
good. I like
Yeah.
that.
and it sounds great.
Yeah, well, because coming from the audio engineer's perspective, yes, we want you to keep that amp pretty low.
Yeah.
Because if it's too loud, it sounds like shit.
Yeah.
And if you think it's not loud enough, it's probably still too loud.
Yeah.
Because, so you have your stage with your mains, and then you have one guitar amp where everything's just coming out of the guitar amp, right? But then, from our perspective, it's overpowering the bass, it's overpowering the drums, you can't hear the vocalist, and there's nothing we can do about it, because we already have pulled you completely out of the mains.
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. I had an embarrassing moment of revelation with that exact same scenario. Marshall and I actually were playing for a youth group band at a summer camp, and I was standing behind my 100-watt
Oh, that's
cab,
right.
and I couldn't hear it
Forgot.
because I was standing behind it,
Right.
and I'm like,
He
bro,
keeps going, turning it up the whole job.
yeah,
It's
You
like
were
a
standing behind it, you had it, in front of you, facing the
right,
audience.
and
That's
everyone
how
else, you're looking around like everyone's like, the sound engineer Gary, who's the lead singer. Everyone is just like, dude, turn that thing down. And Brandon's just like, I can't hear anything. I gotta turn this sucker up,
Why you had it in that configuration?
I don't recall. It was a big stage. I was standing next to the amp. I wasn't in front of it.
Right.
But this poor soul,
brings
this
back
beautiful backup vocalist was up there singing, and I hit a bend, and she just winced in pain, and I was like, is it really that loud? I went to the engineer, and he's like, bro, I got you pulled out of the mix. He had me zeroed.
Yeah.
And I stepped in front just to hear what it sounded like, and I was like, oh my God, it's so loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was embarrassing. I flipped my amp
Yeah.
and faced it towards the back of the stage.
Oh, yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because,
Okay.
so if you have a sound engineer who has any remote clue as to what the fuck he's doing, you should only have to use your amp as your own personal monitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're either DI'd or mic'd in, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Only use it as your personal monitor. You don't need the sound in the front. In fact, going back to take away all the other instruments. Say it's just you as a guitarist on stage. It'll still sound better when you have it low, and I can put you through the mains.
Right.
Mhm.
Because when I put you through the mains, you still get your cab sound, but now it's wider than it will ever be.
Right.
And he can EQ it, and he can pan it so that if you got more than one guitar or guitar and bass and you guys are like all muddy in the middle, he can separate that out, which you can't do with the cabinets.
Okay.
And I know recently he did sound. It was a tribute band, and they're good guys, and they're great. They play great music, but their bass player kept turning his cab up, and we kept telling him to turn it down, and he didn't get the fact that he was washing out the whole band.
Yeah.
And like everybody's complaining to Ryan about how overpowering the bass is. It's like he's zero. I can't do anything, and and we talked to him about it, and
Yeah.
This should be a lesson for everyone out there listening to trust the engineer. If we had a guitarist that wanted that extra volume out of his guitar. I don't know if it's an ego thing or what. And like you just said, they don't realize they're ruining the whole mix.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's better, I think, that for a lot of bands to wear in-ears so that they can actually hear themselves, and then sound engineer can actually give you the mix that you really want to hear, so you can hear yourself and you can hear a little bit of drums and a lot of bass or whatever kind of configuration you want without having to screw around with anything else. And then the front of house sounds amazing. And you're happy because you can actually hear what it is that you're supposed to hear. And if you need a click, you can mix a click into that. And I mean, it's just a better overall configuration. But I understand people feel music.
Right.
We had a band in here, and their bass player, I swear to God, was deaf because he had his cab turned all the way up. I don't know if you
Yeah, I do remember. Even his own band members were like, "Dude, you're deaf. Like, how can you not hear yourself?"
Oh dang.
Yeah, that's the lesson, kids. Go get in-ears. They make
Yeah,
a big
for sure.
They make a big difference.
Do you have a favorite piece of gear?
Yeah, my Trick Dominator. Trick Drums is not a company that many people know about, and I'm like the type of person that like when I really want something, I'll do research for a long, long time.
Right.
And so I stumbled upon Trick Drums, and they make this pedal. They make two models. The Dominator is the cheaper one. You wouldn't know it by looking at it because it's all A14 machine part aluminum. Like this guy was he was a race what do you call it, F1 race car engineer.
Okay.
And then he moved into the it's like so random, right? But I mean, you can tell when you would like if you ever feel like the mechanisms and everything like that. Yeah, I could talk about it for a long time actually.
What does
like,
it do?
Okay, so it's well the machine parts are really like all perfectly put together. The what do you call it? That part that connects the slave pedal? What's that thing called?
I'm not a drummer. So
Well, anyways, there's a
axle. I want to say.
yeah, probably that. So
Yeah.
there's a couple of like there's usually like a ball bearing that they use to make it
For the double pedal?
Yeah, for the left
Yeah.
pedal,
Okay.
the slave pedal, to make it as smooth as possible.
Right.
Well, I can't pull it off right now, but there's a inside bearing, but then there's also an outside bearing.
Uh-huh.
Right.
So it's like the ultimate like smoothness basically. And then the thing that really separates it from every other drum pedal is that inside the actual pedal, like if you look, there's no expansion spring on it.
Okay.
So you'll look at it and you'll be like, how does it work? Like how does it even? But it's a compression spring inside. Like I'd have to show it to you, but inside the mechanism there's a little spring, and basically the thing goes up and down as the pedal gets pushed. The spring gets compressed, and then so on the way back, it's getting it's getting decompressed, and then it also gives you more force on the way back.
Interesting.
It's like the best thing ever. I mean,
Is it like a double hit when you hit it, or is it just
it's not like the Duelist pedal.
Okay.
It's
It's just a different feel.
Yeah, it's like I watched the video probably 50 times before I bought it because it was like a pretty big purchase. I bought it when I was 19.
Got it.
$800 is like a huge purchase.
Oh, God, yeah.
for a drum pedal. But man, it's
That's like a
I
month's rent, dude.
Yeah.
That's still a lot of money.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But then that's the cheaper one. There's a even higher one that's even more expensive. But But it's been worth it. I mean, it's never broken or anything like that, and I've had it for what, 14 years.
Wow, that's
And
great.
it's just like it works just and you can't hear anything. There's no like
Oh yeah.
all the
Yeah.
parts are super smooth. Like so it's I don't have a lot of like really nice stuff, but that's the one thing
That's
that I like.
that's the NASCAR engineered part of your
Yeah.
kit. Gotcha. How about you?
Fender Jazzmasters. Those babies, my God. For me, the neck is just a little bit smaller. The nut is smaller. The strings are a little bit closer together.
Is it a small scale?
No, it's a normal scale, and I think the Jazzmasters just sound better than any other bass that I've ever played. I've played on an Ibanez. I've tested a couple of P basses. It just didn't really fit my hands.
Right.
Like I'm a 6 foot guy, but my hands are pretty small. So I needed a smaller neck.
Right.
And it just fits me so much better. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Cool. Ryan, do you have a favorite
Yeah,
piece?
that's beautiful.
Shoot. I don't even know.
Well, you might have noticed the Boss pedal that
Yeah.
Ryan built out
Yeah,
there.
I have my boss pedal board.
Oh yeah, that's impressive.
There's he did a video that's
did
Is it that one right there?
Yeah, it's that
It's-
one on the ground.
I don't see anything but Boss on that.
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
He-
I didn't know if that was yours.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he did.
Because I had
Yeah,
most of the pedals there were Boss, so I figured, fuck it, I might as well do
Yeah.
like an all Boss
That,
pedal
yeah,
board.
and it looks super cool too.
Not, not for the brand loyalty, but more for just because I thought it would be an interesting concept. you know?
Yeah.
It's
well,
a
and
cool
the
aesthetic.
aesthetic
It's
looks
a
Yeah.
nice
great.
aesthetic. I love the aesthetic. You know.
He did a video that's on our YouTube channel. If you're curious, he goes through all the pedals and how they work and
I mean,
what.
if Boss wants to sponsor us, then there might be some brand loyalty.
There you
involved.
go. I know, right? Yeah, like I've been using the same drum heads since I was like 14. You know.
What do you use?
Like
Well,
the
I
same-
just switched actually.
Yeah.
Literally like last
No,
week.
matter, like the same actual drum heads.
No, the same. No, sorry. Yeah, the same brand. I use
same brand,
Evans,
okay.
the Evans Genera
No, I
drive.
thought you had like the same exact.
That would be
drum
impressive.
head
That would be
since
pretty
you were 14.
impressive.
I'm
No.
like,
You know what I heard though? I was watching an interview with Stuart Copeland. He said I've been using the same drum head for 30 years.
Wow.
That's
I'm like, there's
insane.
no way that's impossible.
Wow.
But maybe it's like they'll play. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
how do you not like break through it eventually? You know.
well, even like not, but like it caught. Like at least if we play, like I play it kind of hard, and like there will be like little dimples in the head. I mean, I
Yeah.
change them out once every 6 months, but
Yeah.
he was like,
I mean,
no, 30 years,
you
same
can
one.
Still play it. Fuck, even if the head's warped, you can still play on it.
Well,
If-
yeah.
If you break through it, you cannot play on it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I used to break through my heads all the time when I know. I remember when I moved here for the first time I was 17, and I was at Presbyterian Church. This like amazing drummer, and he let me play on his because I was like I got nowhere to practice, so he let me one time. I played on that drum set, and then the engineer afterwards was like, you know what? There's a youth group who wrote the drum kit. And it was like this kit they had was like it was a Yamaha custom $5,000 drum kit with like anyways it was super nice. So they switched me over to like the because I
Yeah.
used to hit way too hard. Like I hit hard, but like now like my technique's different. But like I used to just smack the crap out of those things and like just really beat the drum
Rock and
heads.
roll, man.
Beats it like it owes him money.
That drum set
That's-
over there, since we have so many different people play on it for the show,
Yeah.
the bass batterhead will
Yeah.
break at least once every 6 months.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
well,
we
you guys
put
got
the-
Evans E man.
Yeah, we put the felt things on the drum head, which makes it last a lot longer. But
Right.
still,
Yeah.
you know.
Eventually it'll.
Yeah. Well, no, because like somebody who hits way too hard, like, will beat the shit out of it. And then my
Right.
brother, who like actually knows what the fuck he's doing
Right.
and will hit it properly, goes up there and then kicks it a couple times and then it breaks through.
Right. Man, I used to break so many drum heads when I was growing up, but yep. And cymbals, of course.
Oh yeah, that's
Busted cymbals.
Yep, that happens pretty frequently. We end up having to replace replace stuff, but
It's a tragedy, man. Especially when you get a nice cymbal you really like, and it just you see the crack in it. It's like
I know that's why we tend the drum kit's nice.
yeah,
The cymbals we generally do kind of
the middle
middle of the road
range.
Right.
because if you do the high end ones and you don't know
They're
who's
gonna break.
yeah, because it doesn't take much, and we've seen
I know.
we've seen some crazy ass drummers, man, that just
I believe it.
that go like insane on like Animal. You remember from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Muppets, like totally.
That's how they play.
Yeah.
Try the HHX Evolution. They're like the most flexible. I'm telling you, man, I've had mine for like 10 years. My 19 and my 16-inch crash. And the 16 crash is like really cheap. You can get it used. You can get a 19 for relatively cheap, Or the A Custom Zildjian. Those are really durable as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
You can write that down.
I am actually. If I can figure out.
Yeah,
what
it's just like I've
actually-
noticed because like
Thank you.
well, y'all know who Dave Weckl is. He's like a jazz drummer. It's okay. No one knows who he is.
Yeah.
I watched his DVD. That was like my first drum DVD when I was younger. But when he made that DVD, he switched from Zildjian to Sabian. Not that either one's better, but and then he had his own custom line of cymbals, and it was the Dave Weckl Sabian Evolution.
All right.
And they're just they're just super flexible. Like they never like mine is. And I mean, I hit them pretty hard.
We just had a guy over who does a cymbal rental business. Yeah, so you can try out different cymbals
that's
and
awesome.
decide if you want to.
Nice.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, decide if you like it, then you
Yeah,
can
because you
buy
want
it.
to play with it for a little bit.
Yeah, and if you don't like it, you send it back and you can try something different.
Dude.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting business model. He'll actually be at both shows. So
cool.
go to the vendor,
I will look forward to meeting
talk to him
Yeah.
a little bit. But I love his business model. It's because we want to do some of that in here,
Right.
Because we get a lot of people that come through here, and I want to try different cymbals, and I want to
Right.
get an opportunity for other people to try different cymbals. I found that we have a bell, and I know when I put the bell on the rack, everybody uses it because almost nobody has one.
Right. They love to. Yeah, you're right.
Oh,
It's just it's the I guess it's the novelty of it all.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure.
Yeah.
something about brand loyalty I wanted to say. We use 3 different tunings in Caladium, and so we have to have that rack on stage with our 3 different basses and 3 different guitars. And something I've learned over the years is that when these guitarists sign contracts with these companies, it's an exclusive contract. They can't be seen in a photograph without anything but that that brand. And I've loved the liberty of having 3. I actually use 4 different brands. I've got the Ibanez S470, Gibson Les Paul, Fender Stratocaster, and then a Jackson SL1 Soloist. And I love the aesthetic of having those different guitars. So I don't know if I'd ever want to jump into bed with any one company,
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. I definitely like keeping my options open. As far as my basses
would.
go, I've
Sign me up right now.
yeah, for some things, yeah. With my basses, I mean, so far I've had some Fenders and some Ibanez's, and I definitely much prefer the Fenders.
Oh yeah.
Oh, so much, yeah.
Basses, you said?
Basses, yeah. I have the 2 of them are not here because they're getting tuned up. But if you look on that rack over there, there's an Ibanez fretless.
Then you got a
And
5
there's a
string.
5-string too. Those are both Ibanez. And
Then you've got a P bass.
well, yeah, those are the ones that are in the shop. A Fender Deluxe P bass and a Fender. Actually, the one I started on, which is Squire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started on Squire as well.
Okay.
Yep.
And yeah, the P bass, the deluxe precision bass, that's my top contender.
Go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
my go-to. The Ibanez's, I feel like I only have those because one's a fretless and one's a 5-string. You know,
Yeah, we gotta work on the fretless because that neck is
the neck's
kind of
screwed
messed
on
up.
there.
Yeah.
The sound's okay, actually okay on the fretless. There's something.
Well, it's buzzy because the neck is a little
Right,
bit
but
little
I'm
warped.
saying the buzziness aside, the pickups are actually nice on them. I don't as much care for the pickups on that 5-string. They're actually active pickups, but they just something about the way they pick up the tone. It's just almost too percussive, if that makes sense.
You could ask after you get your basses back. You can ask him if he can flip out the pickups and get put something else in.
Maybe.
See if it's an
Yeah.
option.
I don't use 5-strings that much unless I'm playing like metal or anything that goes below a D. You know, because
Yeah.
if I need to go down to a D, I'll just take my standard bass and go down and
Drop it. Do you ever have you ever messed with the pickup settings to lower the level of it?
You mean like the tone? Like
No.
so,
Take a
like-
screwdriver and because if you're getting that percussive sound, maybe the pickup's too high, close to the strings.
Oh, okay.
You could tighten the screws on either side and drop it down a little bit.
No, that's a great idea. I might have him do that.
I had a simple fix on a guitar that I thought was worthless. Actually, it's
Yeah.
that Ibanez I was complaining about the tone on,
Oh, okay.
and a friend of ours was like, "Why don't you just adjust the pickup?" And it was an aha moment. I was like, I didn't
Yeah.
know I could, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Smart.
I'm not a guitar tech, so I wouldn't even know.
Right.
But no, that makes a lot of sense because I know that the distance between the pickups and the strings has a lot to do with
Well,
it.
we have a guitar tech
Yeah.
in house, so you really should just tell him what you want
Oh, okay.
because he's good at figuring
doing that.
it
Yeah,
out.
I know he looked at that bass before.
Yeah,
but-
yeah. It's I've
Well, and honestly, just so I don't perform that often, I'll probably do. I'd probably have him do that when I know that I'm gonna perform with that bass like in a month or so. You know?
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm doing with my other two basses. I know I'm gonna use those
Mm-hmm.
next month in the concert, so I'm like, okay, let's clean them up,
you would
check the electronics, and put new strings on.
you
them,
would
know?
probably be more inclined to practice more if you were happier with the bass, you know.
Yeah, maybe. But again, usually when I practice, it's just on the 4 strings. So.
Yeah. I'll tell you, my friend just making that suggestion, we did it right there on the spot, and boom, I was like, wow, okay, I don't have to replace this guitar after all.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe when he comes back to drop the other ones off, I'll just be like, hey, can you take a look at this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We found that having with as many bands as we have come through here, having a guitar tech that can like take care of stuff is pretty helpful.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, because otherwise, you were talking about like Guitar Center and all that stuff, and they do a great job and everything
Sure.
else, but it's a drive to get out there, and it's it's their top end, clean and tune is it's like $100, and
Is it really?
yeah, it might even be a little more.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with that because they do a great job.
Yeah. But he
Um,
comes here and
He'll pick up the guitar or the bass, and he'll return it about a week later, and it'll
Okay.
be, ready to go. It's
that's cool.
Yeah, it makes it pretty convenient
Yeah. Right.
for doing things. So you guys have been gigging around town a little bit.
Marshall went on a hiatus from the band. He actually left the band a year ago, November-ish, because he just, well, you want to tell him about your baby girl?
Yeah. I have a daughter. It's the
Congratulations.
Best thing ever.
Congratulations, that's awesome.
And my wife's pregnant again.
Congratulations
So,
again.
Yeah, man, it's been awesome. But I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I can. I just wouldn't know how to balance both. I'm trying to, work and balance my family, and then,
Band
do
and
music. So
yeah.
yeah, it's. But yeah, no, we had. What the last time we played was.
It was just before that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
October-ish or
Where
something?
was it?
I think it was O'Reilly's.
Was it O'Reilly's?
It was O'Reilly's before they closed.
you got another one.
Yeah, and then so Marshall called us and broke the news, and for a good 24 hours, I was like, "Oh my God, what am I gonna do?" And then my brother Chase gave me some advice. It was very helpful. But anyway, so Randall and I just decided, hey, let's not waste any time. Let's start writing the second album immediately. So we had all this potential free time and of uncertainty and whatnot. It's like, let's write the second album. So we had just released our debut album, Third Moon, in October last year. Or I guess it would be the year before. And then that November, Marshall gave us the phone call, and then November, December-ish, Randall and I started writing the second album, and then pretty much first of the new year, we were in the studio recording it. And it's forthcoming. We've got 3 singles out from it now, and can't wait to drop it.
But to answer your question, we haven't played anywhere
Since
then.
Yeah.
So we're really looking to play more.
Good. Well, we're really looking at having you guys play in Rock and Winter, and
yeah, thanks for the
here-
opportunity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course,
we're excited.
Definitely.
Yeah, Christy was absolutely smitten with your music, so it'll
Well, thanks.
Flattering.
be fun to watch you guys play. So where can people find you?
Facebook, Caladium. I think it's Caladium Band Official.
Yeah, we're a Caladium Band Official on most things. We're on TikTok. I don't know if that's going to be a thing anymore.
After tomorrow.
After tomorrow.
It's going to be closed, right? Or,
Yeah.
My wife told me. I don't.
Band.
So,
They are. They passed some legislation back in like March or April that if ByteDance didn't sell the remaining Chinese-owned ownership in TikTok by tomorrow, that they were kaput. They were not gonna. They were gonna tell the Apple and Android storefronts that they couldn't carry it anymore, and that it was not going to be legal in the U.S. So I know there's a lot of.
interesting.
How is that gonna work? So if you already have TikTok, like
You won't get any
there-
updates.
you won't get any app updates, or
Correct.
you won't be able to. Would you still be able to access the feed, or how does that work?
If my understanding is, if you already have the app loaded on your phone, if you don't have the app loaded on your phone, you can't load it. If you do have the app loaded on your phone, you'll receive no updates, and it'll eventually stop working.
What if you VPN through a different country?
I don't know that I don't know if it'll work. They addressed something about that too, but
I'm not sure how they would, because if you're going through a different country, then
always trying to work the system.
Yeah, I like the way you think, man.
exactly.
Yeah, we're on Spotify,
Yeah,
Facebook. We're on iTunes,
Instagram.
YouTube.
So as far as social media goes,
Yeah.
this should be mentioned. There's 2 YouTube channels.
Okay.
This is really frustrating. Our distributor released our music singles over a year ago to YouTube, and then you could request, after certain criteria is met, to have control over your YouTube channel, which we did over a year ago.
But they have to give up the control
Yeah.
on that side, yeah.
And there's no customer support. We email our distributor. They said we released it to YouTube. Wait for an email from them.
Yeah.
So we have 2 YouTube channels. Our personal channel, which has lyric videos and such. Maybe in the in the future we'll have more music videos and such. But everything that's been distributed, through Spotify, iTunes, and everything, our official releases are on the Topic YouTube channel.
Maybe if you get a letter from your previous distributor that you can forward to YouTube, you might be able to get some traction that way. It's the social media companies are really difficult to deal with.
They are.
Yeah.
There's no customer support.
We got
Yeah.
locked out of our Facebook page,
Oh.
and it took almost 2 weeks to get back into it. Someone took it over.
Yeah.
They changed the email addresses.
Oh no, you
Yeah.
got hacked.
Got hacked really bad.
Oh.
And the only way that I got back in is because I had an advertising account, and I lodged a complaint on my advertising account, and I finally got like an actual person
Yeah.
to help, which was a backwards way to
Right.
actually get someone to help you, but it still took like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Those social media companies are so fucking lazy. They
No,
they
it's
do
not- it's-
have an actual customer support team. They just want to push you through bots and AI and have
Because
that
it's
run the
cheaper.
system.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. They're fucking cheap as shit.
It's business, man. That's the way. That's
It's business, but when you have that much of a net worth, like, come on, fucking
I hear you.
appeal to your customers.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. But that is the way of the world. That's the way everything is going. Everything's going to be an
Unfortunately.
AI chatbot of something. You're not talking. You're
I
not.
understand having chatbots.
You're not
for-
talking to real people online anymore.
basic Shit, dead internet. It's the dead internet, man.
Yeah, you can have your AI girlfriend, and
Right. And play with bots on Roblox or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it's all going to. But hey,
A recent comedian was like, "Hey, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen all these sci-fi movies, and I'm being nice to the AI. I'm being nice to the chatbots." He says, "Because one day they're gonna come for
Yeah.
you."
yeah.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah, I'm mean to him, man.
I remember when Terminator first came out,
Yeah.
and that was like scary, but
Exactly.
that'll never happen.
Well, okay, I just watched it, and I think the year was set. It was 2029. I think I just rewatched Terminator. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
2029.
Yeah.
Like this is way in the future.
Right.
And then, like that's like 4 years away.
I know. Well, Back to the Future, the Cubs were supposed to win the World Series in 2015. They were only off by 1 year.
Right.
So yeah.
It's like The Simpsons predicting everything.
Oh yeah.
They were
Wow.
weren't they in the World Series in 2015, or was that the?
They won in 2016, and
Right.
but in the
I
movie,
can't remember if they
In-
were in the World Series 2015 and they lost, or if that was the National League Championship.
it was the National League Championship.
National
Yeah.
League Championship.
Was that the one where he's
lost.
betting, like the guy he's got the betting book?
Yeah.
Was that one?
Yeah.
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 And then they
Wow.
won 2016, and
It's just uncanny how close it was.
Yeah.
yeah.
But
I've
yeah,
been watching more and more videos now like that everything's rigged, like NFL, NBA, it's all just rigged.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it? Like I don't want it to be
it
rigged because I watch it, but I'm like, man, is it all just
it's all
all
AI.
just made up?
It's all AI and bots.
it's
and
all just AI, yeah.
there's actually no players anymore. They're just
right.
God. Don't give them ideas, dude.
I would believe it, man. I saw a clip of a guy playing Madden in front of his grandparents.
Yeah.
And they're just literally just glued. They're just like glued to the game, and it's just him playing.
I just
Madden 25.
I just remember the little little white football game with the red dots. I want to say Norelco. That's not it. It's like you had to go like back and forth, and then you charge through. I don't know if you remember this. This is a 70s game, man.
Yeah, no, I've never played that game.
That was the extent of
Right.
state of the art in games
Oh, yeah.
in the 70s, and it was fun.
yeah.
But like now it's all crazy and it's all very realistic, but you can't believe what you see.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Right.
it's crazy. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here for the podcast. Can't
for
wait
having
to
us.
hear you guys play, and we'll see you at Rock and Winter.
Alrighty.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All right, thank you.
for
Thank
having
you.
us.
I want you to know